had quite a few people ask how we cover the knee pads on our saddles. This is the piece of leather that goes on the knee pads. As you can see, it's sort of a bit of a butterfly shape, and I've prepared it ready to sew. Now, the stitching on these ends up being, that's a set that's already sewn up, and as you can see, pretty much the shape ready to go on. Now, if you look carefully, this hasn't been rubbed out yet, but there's a line up here on both sides, and inside, I'll turn that out maybe, you'll see that stitch line up there, and 2 rows of stitches. Now, this is leather's wet, of course, or damp. So anyway, I've gone ahead and prepared this one, and you'll see the important part is the stitches don't come through this top layer. They come through from the back side, and I've already put the awl marks in here, the awl holes, but you can see there's a hole there, and you can see where it comes out just under the grain side of the leather. So all those holes. Now, because one side's longer than the other, quite a bit longer, there are more holes. Well, there has to be the same amount of holes on each side. So, for instance, if you've got 30 stitches on this side, you're going to have 30 stitches on this side, so the ends end up being together. So these stitches, because the side's longer, they're going to be slightly bigger than the ones on this side, but because you can manipulate the leather, each stitch will be slightly bigger, so it'll just pull it up slightly, and they'll end up, they don't always end up exact, but they'll be pretty close. Anyway, I'll do a few stitches. I'll try and get this in a little bit closer so you can kind of, just let me adjust this camera down a bit, and I don't even know whether I can, so we can see what's going on here. Right, so if I just line that up so you can see it. Alright, so I'm just using the normal 2 needle setup, 2 needles on 1 piece of thread. Now, you can see my first hole, which, now bear in mind I've already gone through with an awl and put the awl holes in there. So trying to do this as you go is a nuisance. So I do it on the bench before I start. Now, I'm going to get some haters on me saying that's not the way to do it. Well, I don't really care what the haters say. That's how I do it. It's worked for me for a long time now, and I'm going to keep on doing it that way until I see some better way to do it. I figure if it works for me, just keep on doing it. It ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, with the hand stitching, I lock every stitch down. This is a braided thread that I'm using. It's very strong. It's waxed, but the stitches can slip a little bit if you don't lock them down. So see how they're pulled tight and they stay tight? With this needle, I'm just pushing a needle through each side, so that's where they are, and you can see they're not quite lined up. So I just find that other hole with that needle, so pulling through there, line the hole up. Now it's important when you hand sew, this other needle as it goes through, you pull this thread back a little bit. This thread gets pulled back, otherwise you can spear this needle through that thread. And I take 2 wraps on the needle, like that, and then pull it up, and that kind of locks it off, like it actually ties a knot in there, I suppose you would say. All right, so now I'm just going to continue on. What's going on there? It's tight. There we go. I'm just going to continue on and sew along to the end, and when I get to the end I'll just show you how I finish it off, and I'll show show you how to turn it out the right way and get it all set up, ready to roll. Well, I got these knee pads stitched up. I know I said I was going to show you how to finish that off, but it's fairly self-explanatory. I had 15 phone calls in the time I did this, and I just forgot about filming it. But you just tie a wheel knot in the end of this. That's just a knot that will not come undone. That's what I like to call it. So just a good old wheel knot there, and that's it. Like both sides the same. Now all it's left to do is to turn these inside out. Now this leather's just a little bit drier than I'd like, but it's still pretty good. You can see the seam around there. See how it sits just over the edge nicely. It'll sit just behind the front of the knee pad. So you've got to work that out there. And you can see the edge of the knee pad will sit here, and the seam's below it on the back side. So from the front, you don't see any seam at all. Little piece of leather, sit that seam on there and get a round-faced hammer and just give it a tap down. This is not a finished deal at this point. When it goes on the tree, it does go through a little bit more of a process to finish it off, but you can see there that it's looking pretty good already. So do that on both sides. On to the next job. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like.